Root Cellar Foods is a local vegetable processing facility in Belgrade, Montana. What we do is we purchase local vegetables from area growers, process it in some way, so like fresh, ready to eat, and send it out to our wholesale customers. When there's not local available, we buy for an organic distributor in the Northwest, so we can at least keep it in our region. The success of Root Cellar Foods, it's really multifaceted. Initially, of course, it's the farmers. So the Gallatin Valley is full of wonderful organic farmers, and they can grow delicious produce. And without them, our company wouldn't exist. The second kind of layer of that is, of course, our customers. You have to have the right food service directors or purchasers in place of the schools or hospitals that we sell to in order to create that demand. And finally, it's my staff. They're wonderful. They work really hard. And without them, Root Cellar wouldn't be possible. We really broke the industry in getting local foods into like the large schools and K through 12 schools. So it's like taking that extra step of liability off of the farmers and being able to create a wonderful ready-to-eat product that in the kitchens, who maybe don't have skilled chefs, can utilize in their food service. The last aspect of Root Cellar Foods, and one of the reasons it's successful, is I feel like the Gallatin Valley in general has such a strong community support for new entrepreneurs. Women especially, with Prospera with their online courses, and the Women's Business Center with their leadership mentoring series that they had. I went to several of those as I was starting my business, and it was just really inspiring to hear other women and the struggles they had, and being able to utilize that information to help my business along.
About 10 years ago, I had a near-death experience where my appendix ruptured and I got sepsis, and I was in the hospital for many months, and they didn't know if I was gonna make it. And at the time I said, if I make it through this, I'm gonna do something more with my life. So I started designing, creating an elastic belt made out of 100% recycled materials with the mission to give back to my community. And so I've been running this social enterprise for 4.5 years, whose sole mission is to give back. I started just by myself, thinking, oh, you just make something and sell it. And one of the things about starting it by myself initially was I was having everything manufactured overseas. As I thought more about my mission, I decided that this just didn't feel good. I'm making something out of recycled materials. I'm making it to give back. Why am I making it overseas when I live in Montana? How can I make it in Montana? And that's where organizations like Prospera and the MMEC come in. That's when I discovered the Montana Correctional Enterprises, specifically the women's prison industries, where they are now manufacturing my belts, all of my belts. You know, it's so funny when you make a silly thing like a belt and you try to explain that it's not about the belt, it's about the mission behind the belt. We donate a portion of every belt we sell to Thrive, to Warriors in Quiet Waters, and to 1% for the Planet. We have this expression when you're wearing a gelt, you're gelting. And when you're gelting, you're doing something that's good. It's good for the planet, it's good for your community, it's good for the environment.
Montana Instruments is a high-tech manufacturing company. We make scientific instruments for materials research. Our customers are physicists, chemists, material scientists all over the world who are studying new materials, and they use our systems to study new materials at the basic molecular and atomic levels to understand the properties of these materials at temperatures all the way down to close to absolute zero. We brought an instrument to market that everybody said was too expensive, but the value that we created was more than people were really understood on paper. And once they started using it, they realized that it actually increased their productivity, and it gave them time back into their life. Much of MI's success today, I really have to say, is the people that we've been able to bring in. We have really fantastic people. We also have a fantastic culture. One of the areas we're finding ourselves at the center of, and is going to be a real world changer is quantum technologies. So this is quantum properties of materials, properties based on quantum physics that scientists are exploiting today. So this ends up as quantum computing, quantum sensing, quantum communications that are drastically more advanced than the technologies that we have today in those areas. Many of those discoveries are happening at low temperatures, and understanding materials and what more we can do with those materials are happening in our systems at low temperatures. So we're finding ourselves as a key entity for advancing quantum information science.